President Trump standing by his Liberation Day tariffs. He took to Truth Social saying they're already bringing in billions. He says oil prices are down, interest rates are down, food prices are down, and there is no inflation, end quote. He says the phones are ringing off the hook with countries calling to make a deal. The White House says 50 countries have called to negotiate just over the weekend. All right, now listen to what the president said about China.
China is right now taking a big hit because everyone knows we're right. They have to pay tariffs because otherwise we have a surplus, that they have a surplus with us that is not sustainable. I spoke to a lot of leaders, European, Asian, from all over the world. They're dying to make a deal. But I said, we're not going to have deficits with your country. We're not going to do that. But China would be the worst in the group because the deficit is so big and it's not sustainable.
And then there is Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. He says there is no reason to expect a recession. Watch this.
I see no reason that we have to price in a recession. Markets are organic, the animals, and you never know what the reaction's going to be. We get these short-term market reactions from time to time. There doesn't have to be a recession. Who knows how the market is going to react in a day, in a week.
Oh, that's true. Ryan Payne joins me this morning. Check out the markets. The threat of recession, I think that's what's uptaking the markets at this moment. Are you worried about a recession too?
Yeah, I think 100%. I mean, markets are very good at pricing in recessions before they happen, and we're down 17% in the S&P 500 today. The good news is you go to 20%, that's an official bear market. 70% of the time, the stock market doesn't go there, but if you factor in these max tariffs like we have today, I'm talking to any economist in the country, and I mean, you're definitely going to slow the economy, and you're definitely looking at a possible recession. I think it's very realistic.
Definitely looking at a possible recession. You think we're going to have a recession?
Yeah. That was a definitely maybe. But I think here's the bottom line.
It's too early to tell.
It's too early to tell, and I think the reality of the situation is higher odds are there's going to be some backtracking and there's going to be negotiations. And if that's the case, if you get a wave of compromises here, you just had it in your preview there. You have 50 countries. They're coming to the table. They do want to negotiate with us because the trade practice has been somewhat unfair. Then you're going to get those negotiations. And I would have mentioned you also have some stimulus here. You talked about it already. Like if you see mortgage rates, they're almost down to 6%. If you look at oil costs, they've come down sizably here. That's a big input cost for the consumer and for businesses alike. So that's a big offset as well. So I think your bigger risk here actually is a melt up if we do get some sort of negotiations here, because right now the market's pricing in Max Payne, no pun intended, that's my last name. And I think that's what you have to really think about as an investor.
So listen to what the president had to say about the market sell-off. Roll that tape, please.
I think your question is so stupid. I mean, I think it's I don't want anything to go down. But sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something, and it's not sustainable. We're not going to do it. Now we have hundreds of billions of dollars is pouring into our country on a monthly basis. It's pouring. It's already started because I put tariffs on. And eventually it's going to straighten out, and our country will be solid and strong again.
All right. Any guess as to when the selling ends?
Well, I think President Trump knows that Main Street and Wall Street now are the same thing. We have like $93 trillion worth of equities, and 66% owned by the U.S. public. Like if your 401k is down right now, your brokerage account's down right now, that negative wealth effect's a real thing.
Yep.
And if people aren't buying because prices have gone up and their wealth's gone down, then we're not going to see all these tariffs, pay down the deficit with all this new revenue. So I think that's a big concern. I think President Trump knows that. I think he's smart enough to know. I think he is a populist, and he does want to see the American household succeed. So I think at some point you've got to get those negotiations.
Okay, show me Bitcoin, please. Last time I checked, it was just 76, 77. It's 76.9 at the moment. It's not a safe haven, is it?
Ouch.
Yep.
Maybe it is just a gambling, mechanism that people have been using to leverage up the fact we've been risk on for so long here, and not this great diversifier, because the market's down, Bitcoin's down, gold's up. That is a real diversifier. So I think the reality about Bitcoin here is it's just purely a speculative asset, Stuart.
Ooh, that's a damning with not exactly faint praise either. All right, Ryan, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Stuart.
See you again later.